Go. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. Level up. Level up. Go. Everything that means everything. Eyes connected to everything, and that's why. I'm in everything. All eyes on me. All eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
Okay, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Let me go pin this real quick, make this available for everyone out there in Facebook land, podcast world, whatever.
Out there in the digital
out there
universe.
You know. This one. Okay, wait a minute. It's still not. Okay, this is things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by God Level. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur. I have this podcast. I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm an aunt, I'm a GG. I am everything good. Ivy, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
What's going on, good people? Hey, it's your girl, Inattentive Ivy on TikTok. You can find me there, social media platform. Oh, you can find me on all social media platforms, right? Where I talk about my own experiences with ADHD, mental health, and it's a journey. You know what I'm saying? It's a journey. I'm really obsessed with ceramics right now, so that's kind of what I'm, sharing. But I'm loving to be here and be a part of this wonderful podcast with these wonderful people, and promoting healing for communities of color. And like I say, I'm gonna share my bullshit, so that way we can all keep accountability and keep it a buck.
That's what's up. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Slide Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, steward of psychology, and I'm a father. With 5 albums streaming on all major streaming platforms now. That's Dimensions, Higher Dimensions, Final Dimension, Law of Affirmations, and Light Benders. John Skywalker. Look for John Skywalker.
That's what's up.
That's
Sherman.
one of the art. That's one of the pieces of art for one of the albums. It's a pyramid right there. There's 2 brothers right here, and it's me and my producer. He helped me with that. So it's a collab album. Hip hop is making a turnaround.
Thank you, Kendrick Lamar.
Salute.
Thank you, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, Jesus.
He murdered.
Turn the TV off. Okay.
Baby. TikTok is still reeling from that halftime show. Do you hear me? That song, period, just keep going back up because people are just finding ways to keep using it. That he literally revitalized hip hop last year. I said it on TikTok. We are wanting the real. We didn't have enough of fake culture. Okay, anyway. Sherman, go ahead and represent yourself, because
I am Sherman Vine. I'm definitely not as decorated. I am here to learn, to grow, and to listen. That's all I got.
I'm not trying to be funny. Why was me and Ivy aligned when he said I'm not as decorated? We both went at the same time, Sherman, you got plenty to give. Plenty.
Yeah,
a young man with a good head on his shoulder, and I love it. Yeah, I tell you all the time, the conversations that we have had has stuck with me. It has. You're the reason why. You're one of the reasons why I'm here, and the rest of my tribe right here.
That's Ivy, a beautiful day.
That is. She
that means
sees
a lot.
It does.
How a man sees the world is how he sees himself. I'll never forget that.
Ooh, come on, because that was
I
a
got that
game
from
changer.
Sherman.
Yes, sir.
I got that from Sherman. How a man sees the world is how he sees himself. So if he's always looking out and seeing nothing but negativity everywhere he freaking go, that is exactly how he feels about himself. And I love the way that he will pose a question to make me think about my actions and what I am doing. Are you sure that is the best move for you? If you ain't got a tribe like this, I don't know what to tell you. You got to have good people in your corner.
Get yourself
John,
a tribe.
we damn near at a decade right now. Ivy, honey, just watching you blossom for a whole year has been truly amazing and inspiring.
Thanks,
I
bud.
love it. I don't know where Sherman went to. But anyway, we can go ahead and get started.
Let's get it cracking, because man, I have been asking my friends to talk about it. I'm like, let's go ahead and get into this.
Okay.
Let's get into it. Because we gotta ask the question. Go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
I'm gonna ask the question. You want to go ahead and answer? What is colorism and how does it compare to racism?
You know what? Before I get started, first of all, I want to hear John, and I would love to hear from, because you know I'm gonna put you on the spot, brother. Come on, man. Because you always give like the like the logical, the very weighed out answer to things, right? And I have my own opinions, but I would like to hear. I would love anybody who's watching out here. Let's talk about the difference between colorism and racism. Like how does it show up in the Black community? Go ahead. I'm shut up. Go ahead, y'all.
All right. So we could say that colorism is essentially an offshoot of racism, but we're talking about discrimination on the basis of color with colorism, and with racism, it's discrimination on the basis of race. So typically, when we're referring to color, we're referring to within the race. So it doesn't have to necessarily just be Black people. It could also be Indians, which it is. It could be Brazilians. It could be Costa Ricans. It could be Chinese, a lot of Asians. Yes, with Asians, both Thai, Filipinos, Japanese too, Chinese. And I'm missing one. Oh, and the Koreans. Oh man, yep. And some would even argue that colorism kind of predates racism, because the depictions of darkness versus lightness. Yeah, just think about it. Racism is sort of a recent concept, but this whole darkness versus lightness, that kind of preceded before Europeans, started propagating. Go ahead.
House nigga versus the field nigga.
Ooh, But we're talking about before that, because if you
we're talking about before that.
Yeah,
because again, in the Asian countries as well, this is kind of whiteness, the concept of whiteness, that purity, that's beyond race. Racism kind of follows, right. But that it's an argument. It's an argument.
It's an argument.
So essentially, we're still just talking about discrimination, beginning and end of the day. The core element of colorism and racism is the discriminatory behaviors, the actions, the attitudes. It's not just, all right, I said something, but it's also behavioral. It's in, how do I treat the darker versus the lighter? What are my attitudes towards them? Because my attitude is going to dictate the treatment that I elicit, right? So,
yeah.
Because I was getting ready to say, I was like, if you really think about it, like in the Indian caste system, that was all about colorism. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally based an entire socioeconomic status, like your position in the country, based off of whether or not you were born darker or whether or not you were born lighter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and even if you think about it, right? Like when colonization was starting to happen, and when that Spanish guy, when the Portuguese guy came and he got slaves from Africa and started the transatlantic slave market, he did so because he said, you know something, these slaves will be much harder to escape, to get away, because they can't just blend in with the rest of our society. Basing a whole thing on colorism, right? So yes, definitely colorism. It has a big vein, it has a big audio vein inside of racism. So
Mm.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm.
My question is why is it still a thing in 2025? But I know we gonna get there. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and
We're gonna get there. But yeah, it's still a thing in 2025. We see a lot. Okay, never mind. We're gonna wait. Okay, never mind. Maybe yours, friends, or even in pop culture. Mine's came when I was 6 years old, 6 or 7.
Ooh.
White Jesus, watching the TV, white here, white there, white everywhere, and seeing how white people were living on TV versus us and how we was living. That was the first time I seen a separation. And then amongst my own people, dark skin was treated roughly. It was rough. They was rough on dark skinned people. They had little nicknames for us. Black African booty scratcher.
Hard, baby.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Darth Vader. Yeah. It was a thing. It was a thing. I noticed it very early on. It was a thing. So yeah. I don't know. Have you ever experienced?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When were you like, when did you become aware? Like, I noticed you said that you saw like, white Jesus, and you saw like all of the images, like, like when we were coming up, because I mean, let's go ahead and keep this a buck. I'm 48 years old. I know that when I was 6 and 7, when I was 5 and 6, I wasn't necessarily aware that there was this difference until my auntie explained to me the transatlantic slave trade, the reason why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, explained all of that stuff that kind of caught up to me. So when were you like actually consciously aware that you were being treated different because of the fact that because of your skin?
In my own home.
Oh man.
I'm the darker one out of everybody.
Wow.
I'm the firstborn, yet I'm the darkest out of all of my brothers and sisters. So mine's happened in the house. Yeah.
Wow.
So coming up, the dark skin. Yeah. And then I was always thicker. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just know, like, for me to answer this, the first time that I noticed like that I was actually aware of colorism, like, I think I might have. Oh yeah, well actually I was aware of it because like when you're a little girl, it's like you don't necessarily think about your looks until you start getting, what I'm saying? It's like you're interested in boys and you're like, oh my God, this you think I'm cute, blah 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 blah. And I just remember that, akin to the way that I felt about what I was attracted to, my cousins were always kind of like, oh, you got to get yourself a light-skinned boy. You got to get yourself a light-skinned. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at him. He cute. He light-skinned. He got pretty hair. He got light eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was always that type of thing. And then when School Days came out, ooh, man, that's when it came out for me in pop culture. When School Days came out, baby. Because, you know what I'm saying? The wannabes versus the jigaboos. That shit was done, bro. Like, that was a real, like, in your face. And me being kind of like in the middle, just kind of like brown skinned girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, like, I was just like, for me personally, I was like, I didn't really ascribe to either side, but just like seeing how it really like affects just like, friends of mine and stuff like that. That's, it's real.
It does. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And now we have our mixed community.
We do. You know what I'm saying? And they feel, I think that they feel a couple of different ways. Woo, come on now. Light skin privilege.
Light skin privilege. Yeah.
Man.
What does it actually look like in real life? I don't know. I'm not light skinned.
about
light-skinned privilege? You see it on TV. You know, you've seen it on TV growing up. How, except with the Cosbys, I love that how they had all shades. But they would rather have. And Fresh Prince of Bel-Air pissed me off when they switched out the mothers.
Because the first Aunt Viv was like everything, man. A lot of women identify with her. Yeah.
You know, it was always in our face. The darker the skin was the big black mama.
Yep.
Masculine.
Yes.
Very masculine. Always this.
Light-skinned women were more feminine presenting.
Yep.
Yeah. So it
was to have softer features.
More. It was programming.
Mm-hmm.
Programming. Yeah.
I mean, and the programming has not. It's like it's continued to.
Oh,
it's
yes.
like continue, and that really came from the fact that, you know, like, I mean, we all can talk about it. Like back in the day, you know, the slave owners be like, oh, well, you know, she got part white in her, so she must know something.
Yeah.
Or he's
the lighter
white,
the
so
slave, they was able to stay in the house. The dark slave stayed outside. Come on now, that.
Yeah. So we know where that came from, and I don't know about light skin privilege, but for some reason it's like my youngest kid is lighter, you know, and I've seen the way that so-called light skin privilege kind of like I think that like they want to be different, like they want to be darker, you know what I'm saying? Like that's
really
kind of, oh yeah, and it might have something to do with me, because I'm always the person, like, after I get a tan, you can't tell me shit, like, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me anything. I think I'm the most gorgeous thing that's walking ever on the face of the planet. Like after I get a tan, dead ass. Like it's like, you know, and I'll come in from like, I went to the beach, went on vacation. I'm like, look at all that melanin. Look at that melanin. You know what I'm saying? But my daughter's like, excuse me, my youngest is sort of just like, yeah, you know, maybe if I wasn't just golden, you know? And so I don't, like, I think that they feel it a little bit, you know? You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, baby, we come in all shades. It does not matter. It matters what your heart is. But so I haven't seen the other side of it. I've heard about it. I've heard about the light skin privilege, and I've noticed it like in certain things in pop culture and with other people who are lighter skinned.
You can see it in the videos, the models.
When Lil Wayne came out and said, "If you ain't,"
go ahead.
Oh, go right ahead.
Being light skinned, I'm accept it easier. I'm looked at it.
There we go. That's the answer we're looking for.
Yeah, I'm looked at as less of a threat. I'm looked at as more intelligent. I'm looked at as more obedient. I'm looked at as easier to deal with. I'm looked at
proximity to whiteness.
That's who we talk to. Because at least he may know something. It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Police are still nigger catchers. Jobs still equal slavery. And there's bars that we do not see. They're still here. Nothing's changed. But we just mask it up to make it look different. Dress it up and make it look good for me. That's what we've done so far. So me being light skinned is definitely 1000% a privilege. I don't try to take it because I wear my blackness on my heart, on my sleeve, on everything. That's who I am. That's who I'm about. You could treat me a certain way, but I bully the bully. So if you treat my brother something different because he's darker than me, you're gonna have to answer to me too. So you can talk to me, that's fine. But I'll shut anything down that I have to. So yeah, it definitely is a privilege, and I've always, with my name being Sherman, I'm pretty much damn near a shoe-in. They think he's a nice Negro.
He's uncomplicated.
That's just how it goes. He doesn't have anything. He won't do what they will do. Those are my people. So anything that they'll do, I do it too.
Man,
that's just what it is.
When did you become aware of it?
Yeah.
When?
Elementary school, because I grew up in the city. You got to learn how to
Okay.
talk about people. You got to learn how to jump. So,
Hmm.
black people, you get your black ass. You know what I'm saying? Get your light skinned pretty boy. It was different.
Mm.
It was just black ass, but light skin always came with pretty boy, or curly hair, or something presentable, something good, something positive. It was always kind of following it, and they would try to make that into a joke. But when it was darker, it was always looked at as ugly or big or fat or masculine or mean. Or that's not,
Hmm.
because I love me a chocolate woman, and that's just a preference. But I've dated every. I ain't, it ain't no flavor that I ain't. Well, anyway, all that being
Sip some
said,
tea.
Yeah.
elementary.
Let me sip some tea because that you don't meet too many men like Sherman that say they prefer a darker skinned woman and actually mean it.
Mm. I used to wish I was dark skinned when I was little.
Mm.
Oh
I
my.
used to think I wasn't always. I used to think I wasn't all the way black because of how I was treated.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
That's just how it was. That's just what it was for me. They wouldn't treat me. Oh man, you're not like them. I am like them. Those are my people. So don't tell me I'm. Those are my. What's wrong with you?
wow.
I would get in small fights and quarrels and shit like that because of certain things said. Oh, you not like that. Or you better than that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it's like being light skinned. So you can get into a couple of more doors, but you still a nigga.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. So you're even
Mm.
saying that there's, oh man, that has got to be frustrating. Before you came back in, I was speaking about like my youngest. My youngest is, pretty light, right? And
Mm.
like sometimes I just, like they won't necessarily express completely how they feel about being lighter, but they'll sometimes, just kind of reference that they wish that they would get more tan or things of that sort. But I'm like, that's really interesting that you brought up, like there's still this, it's still this layer of separatism if you're
Mm-hmm.
lighter skinned black. That's what I hear you saying, kind of sort of there, like there's still this
Yeah.
It is.
separatism from your identity. Oh my gosh. So, oh wow.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
definitely different.
Wow.
And I learned it at a very, very young age. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9. I understood it.
Dating.
Yeah. Not dating, not 7, 8,
No,
9.
I know. No, I'm
I
saying
was trying to ride
what
the bike. But dating high school, ninth grade, well, honestly, middle school, eighth grade on up. Like, you probably gonna get you a chocolate girl, ain't you, sir? No, I had mostly light skinned girlfriends throughout high school. Actually, all but one. I never discriminated. I never really understood that because I like her, and her. I don't really understand what y'all looking at, but
Mm-hmm.
I know what I see.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I saw it with my friends. If they were darker skinned, they always had a light skinned girl. They would, if they were light skinned, they always had a darker girl. I mean, you grow up thinking that's right. You see it just like Ivy and you said, Miss Renee. You really see it. You see it on TV. You see it
Yeah.
in the radio. You see it in
Yeah.
books. It's always a type of programming.
Yeah. It's
Always a
always
type of
going. The
programming.
programming never stops.
No, because they need us separate. Because if we're separate,
Yeah.
we'll never turn around and look at the
We're
real
easily
enemy.
conquered.
There you go. You
We are
never see the real
easily
enemy if I'm
conquered.
looking, and you
Yeah.
look like me. I'm looking at John. I'm looking at you as enemies, but I know who the
Yeah.
real enemy is.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
another
You
story
know
for
that
another time.
I was like, that's kind of crazy that you spoke about, like the separatism and how you kind of like didn't ascribe to one type, because going into this next
I'm listening.
question talking about dating apps, workplace promotions, even beauty ads. I mean, I have run across so many darker skinned, darker skinned women. Let's go ahead and keep this a buck, right?
Okay.
Because it seems like there is this construct where if you're a darker skinned guy, you got to have a lighter skinned woman. You've got to have a lighter skinned woman, right?
Yeah.
But I found a lot of brown girls and a lot of darker brown girls. Like sometimes we want somebody who looks like us. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like, and the dark skinned cats are basically telling, like, it's almost like the darkest. It feels like it feels like, maybe I make this up, that a lot of the darker skinned cats, and it's just your preference. You're allowed to choose whoever you want to, whoever you love. You fall in love with whoever you love. But for darker skinned women, it's like we kind of want to find somebody. It feels like a lot of us kind of want to find somebody who looks like us, but we're considered like, you know, like the stereotypes. We're considered fat, lazy, ugly, nappy headed. You know,
if you're darker skin, if you're darker skin, you're gonna have a harder time in that area versus if you were light-skinned and or mixed.
Yeah, because I remember even Lil Wayne when he came out with the line, "Oh, if you ain't light-skinned and don't have a big
yellow bone only." So you're promoting one particular shade of Black woman. That's even in the videos you can see it. The lighter, the better. Yeah.
And the rappers and the celebrities are the main programmers.
Just said it, Lil Wayne. Just said it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
that's who we look to. That's who we idolize. So who else are we going to look at? Because we don't want to be ourselves from a young age. We're not taught that. You're not ever taught to be who you are, because you're the only light that you're literally the only person that can be you. You're a one of one. Don't make me miss out on your life trying to be somebody else. That's what pisses me off the most. But everybody does that. How can I tell somebody something and they ain't trying to hear me? If they're not looking for help, they're going to try to be that next person or that next guy or that next girl, because that's what's it.
Yep, absolutely.
It's hard to talk to.
Yeah.
Man, and it's hard to break that programming too. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Yeah.
It was a point where like all the top celebrities, athletes, would get them snow bunny.
And you know, speaking of what,
they call them trophy wives.
What? I think about, I'm like, what did Cat Williams say? Cat Williams is just harsh, man. He said,
get some light-skinned, funny looking that just stands there and just takes pictures, but you never heard him talk. Don't do no interviews.
Goodbye.
I remember that.
Where is Cat Williams? We need an update.
Oh my God.
He's on tour again. He got another special.
I know, right? Look, he on tour again.
Man.
That's so true. Man, but yo, like that is
real. And mostly all of those men are dark-skinned.
Okay, so my question is, so let's go to workplace promotions, right?
Okay.
So I honestly think about it, right? When you start talking about the workplace, you know how like the generation before ours, and even the generation before them, like you had the greatest generation and then the boomer generation, which was our parents' generation, right? If you think about every time that they heard in the news that, oh, somebody broke the racial barrier, somebody broke the color line, it was always a lighter skinned Black person.
It was
always a lighter skin, except for, oh my gosh, I cannot believe
who
I'm forgetting his name. Baseball. Come on.
Jackie Robinson.
Come on. That was like one of the only ones. Jackie Robinson. Oh, that's it. Sports was like, that was like the separating line, right? Because we think about Jackie Robinson, we think about what's my man, the one who was the heavyweight boxer who got in trouble for having all the white women and drinking all this shit.
Jack Johnson.
Yes. Come on. Thank you.
I remember that.
Yes, I was like, the names are escaping me, but they're coming up. Like, but I mean, like, other than just like sports, like if it came to anything that was like even the three women. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting all of the stories and the terms right now. But the three women that broke into NASA, like the ones who were like they
made a movie.
Oh, Catherine.
Thank you. Lighter skinned women. I think that there was one brown skinned girl, like in between, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? But it's always been like those opportunities they have. I mean, lighter. Let's go ahead and keep it a buck. If they were breaking the color line, it's almost like they had to be light skinned in order to break.
Yeah, that is the color line. Light skinned Black.
Yeah.
That
So I
is.
mean, like even going further than just like the datum nets, like when
Yeah.
like even in the times of the antebellum period, you know, when the U.S. had just came out of the Civil War and everything else, when Black people were like, oh, okay, well we're finally not slaves anymore. We feel like we want to contribute, right?
Hmm.
Nope, nope, we're gatekeeping. Light skinned Negroes only.
Yeah.
Nope, we're gay. You know,
Yeah.
like even back that far, you know.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. You know, it's like how do you? So what does that say to somebody? What does that say to anybody who falls on either one of the lines? You know.
That light skinned has more of a chance in succeeding than someone dark
Well,
skinned
all right. We have to
programming.
remember we're dealing with supremacy here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're dealing with
Absolutely.
And you
supremacy
have to
here.
take that into consideration.
So it's based in fear. The whole thing is based in fear. You're more afraid of me. You're more afraid of me than you are of
Yeah.
Maya, than
Mm,
you are of Drake. You're less intimidated by him because he's closer.
to
He's
you.
closer. I don't expect you to not be afraid. I don't expect you to not be afraid. I don't expect it. But when you have him that close, when you have her that close, you're still afraid. You're still afraid. Okay? We're still afraid of this black person. That's why they can only go this far.
Mm.
I want you close because I could use this. I could use this to say, hey, I got some black. You're useful. I want to keep you within arm's reach. You're useful.
I'm not racist. I've got Black cousins.
All
I
right.
got black
So
friends. I've got black friends.
supremacy, and again, that's just what like we can condemn it and all, but that's
Yeah.
just what it is. We
But it,
know
yeah.
that's what it is. So all we're dealing with is the operations of that major mind. This is just one of the programmings, right? So
Mm.
in terms of the colorism, it's pre-installed from that space. The whole thing operates from that space. We're just taking it on and recycling and playing with it or whatnot. But their mindset is be afraid of this darker person than
Yeah.
this lighter skinned person. Be
That part.
afraid. There's a fear. It's an irrational fear. We know it is. At conscious level, we know it's an irrational fear. However, it's still there. And so unless you confront that fear, it's there. And it's going to pop up in your media. It's going to affect your consciousness. It's going to affect what you create. It's going to affect everything that you do. It's like a disease. So yeah, in your media, it's in even in your social media when you're creating your little algorithms. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, the lighter ones are getting more favorable. They're getting more looks. But also, hold on. Not only are you putting that in the algorithm is only just appealing to what's already out there. I mean, what good does it do to put that in the algorithm or put that as an algorithm, and the user doesn't even interact with that? What good would that do unless you
Mm.
already knew that that was out there? So you're programming it in your databases, your Google searches. It's in everything that you're doing because it's already here. The software's already been here. So,
Okay.
Mm.
oh,
No, because I got a question.
Go,
Since you
go
said
ahead, because
that.
I've seen this take place last year. Erica Kane, I can't think of who she is, an influencer. She got on there, and they end up dragging her because of what she said. My light skin is the reason why I'm here, and your dark skin is the reason why you're there, and you
Oh
will
my.
never be able to get to where I'm at. Like,
Oh
and they
my.
dragged her.
But let's
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Let's go ahead and ask this. If that's the download and that's the algorithm, and the algorithm is already doing what the algorithm is doing, then can we really say that our preferences to either date exclusively like women or a light man, or our exclusivity to dating just dark men or dark women, is that really a preference, or is that subconscious programming?
I mean, some of it is going to be subconscious programming. Some of it is, and then some of
Okay.
it's just going to be choice. And sometimes those choices may not make sense. And I was going to ask, like, at what point do you say, okay, this is just preference? Like, for example, you ask my wife, she like chocolate, okay,
Okay.
And it's not to say that she doesn't like the other, but if you ask her, she gonna choose chocolate. So it's like, all right, well, hold on. Well, why can't she just choose? Hold on, you can only choose one.
Yeah.
You can only choose one. So what you gonna choose, right? So there's that element underneath is, all right, is it a problem when it's something you actually want? Because, okay, this is aesthetically pleasing.
But at what point do we ask ourselves that? At what point are we asking ourselves is that subconsciously programmed to have a preference?
Well, I know personally, John, it don't matter. Because for me, it's more of I'll take what I can get, honestly, because this height thing, I get gigged for the height thing more than I get gigged for this. So the height thing be kicking my ass. But hey, you like what you like. So for me, it doesn't matter, right? But I think it does matter for some folks out there. Like if a woman's like, oh, I just gotta have me a chocolate man. In my mind, I'm like, okay, well, why not? Because if she gets one and it fits the bill. But then it's like, I understand the implication here. Again, we're talking about discrimination, right? And there could be some preferential treatment, but the preferential treatment has to be in the context of I'm doing this in face of you. As in, I'm doing this to spite you also. I'm choosing you to make you feel bad for being this shade. Like that's that's what the preferential treatment, that's what the impact hits the most. It's, I chose Linda over you, Tracy, because she's lighter skin, and I need you to know that I chose her. That's different than, okay, it's her and 17 different black women, and hey, I just picked her. I just liked her. It had nothing to do with, so you don't involve anybody else in the preference. That's the main key. Is if it's a genuine preference, no one else should be involved. Like if I say I like black women, that has nothing to do with anybody else, but just the fact that, hey, like I know there's other flavors out there, but I'm not doing this because the other flavors are out there. But a guy could be like, yo, I like women or white women because black women did. So your like for white women is based on your dislike for black women. So the foundation, so that's what we're talking about. That's the discrimination, is what is it based off of? If you just saying, yo, you just like light-skinned dudes because they look exotic, hey, why can't you have that? Why can't she have that? I'd be like, yo, I agree that he look exotic. Okay, I can see why. So why would I be offended by that, right? Why? Unless she was doing that in comparison. John, I'm choosing him because look at how exotic he looks and just look at you. And then it's like, damn, man. Ugh.
See, now that's just...
I really believe that.
Go ahead, Sherry.
Go ahead.
I'll be very quick. I really believe what John just said. I think it's half of that, and the other half is fear. Even within our community, I got dogged by dark skinned chicks, so I like light skinned girls. I got dogged by light skinned girls, so I like dark skinned girls.
Woo!
It's always either based in fear or exactly what John said. I think they look like this, but what John said is more preferential. It leans more towards that. But when it's a fear and I'm going to white women because, that's already telling me it's a fear. You couldn't handle that heat because black women bring some heat. I mean, you're gonna have to run out that kitchen if you can't take it. You gotta have a gift of gab. Because if you just coming up with some craziness in your younger years, you are not going to get played. I repeat, every chance they get, they will shoot you down.
Listen, I'm just thinking that just got me. So I'm gonna ask a question. Okay, because I'm curious. I'm curious. So now that you just said that, right? Like basically, like we've got some of these people who, they might be like, oh, I'm not messing with these dark skinned women or or I'm just dating white women because of blah 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 blah.
Yeah, we get a lot of black men who say that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, could there be some unhealed mother stuff that's going on here? That,
mother wound.
Is that a mother wound that could that be coming out of it? Because I know, for instance, or a daddy wound even, right? Because I know, for instance, I had a friend dated exclusively white men, right? Wouldn't even, and was married to one at one point in time, and it was married to a black man. It was like, after, like, fuck that, I'm not doing that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like, never again. And I'm like, and it's just my preference. That's just they treat me better. They, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what, like you said, whatever it is that is that a wound? Is that a communal wound from him? Could that be it? You know?
Yes, exactly right. I believe that's true, especially in my anecdotal experience. It's based in fear. Maybe your mother wasn't, because I'll be honest. I know preference-wise, I don't care if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned, because of course, obviously, my mother was the first woman that I loved. So I love black women. But is that the prototype woman that I would like? No. So sometimes it goes the opposite way. If that's not like in a woman, you won't even like black women, because I didn't even like how my mother acted. It's sometimes it's a little bit more deep rooted than I just like this. So yeah, I think it could come from the home. I think it could come from school and children. I think it could come from the lifestyle. I think it can come from TV, television. I think it's a lot of things attacking to separate.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And answering that question, how much is this tied to colonialism or slavery? Or is it more about modern media?
I think
it's been here. It's been here.
That's a big.
We already determined that it's been here. Yeah. We can't even say modern media. Media is just making it more. It's in your face.
It continues it. It repeats it. Yeah. It's like it just. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I feel like
media it's in your face, but it's been here.
But media is art too, right? So it's like there's different ways. When we say media, that's a very general term. You know, it's newspapers, it's comic books, it's the shows, minstrel shows. You know, it shows up, it manifests. So this is just the expression of the ideas, the expression of the discrimination, or the ideas associated with the discrimination. So we could say colonialism started it, and media perpetuates it, or keeps it going, keeps it alive. Colonialism gave birth to it, but
colonialism and slavery kept it going.
Started it. I would say they started it, right? Because it's like, what's the big? Because think about the culture, right? Think about the culture in which all this is happening.
True.
Right. Yeah. So you got these slaves, which are not even viewed as humans, and they have these features, right? And these ideas are associated with these features, which instigates and has this attitude projected upon it. That's your oppression right there. That's the attitude of oppression. You have these ideas, the ideas match how, these individuals on the outside are. And so there's this distance. You don't even know black people for real. You don't know black people.
Girl, so your mind is over there.
It's like, because I'm literally, me and my hamsters, we are tracking back because I'm not just thinking just about like our community. I'm literally thinking across the world. You've got like women in Africa who use harmful bleaching creams to be lighter.
Themselves, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Make themselves look lighter.
When I was in college,
because they say the white men like it.
It's not, but the thing is that it's got a lot to do about media, because if you think about it, over in Africa, everybody looks like them, So it wasn't even just colonialism. And every now and again, you get like some white people who come over there who might be missionaries. They give whatever, you know what I'm saying? But what about that made them think that they were supposed to look lighter? It was media. I read this report. I did a different report, but I read this report. It was called The Disney Girl when I was in college. And it was literally about how like a lot of different ethnic cultures, how they thought that they were beautiful and just like lovely. And they had like all of these different traits until they got modern media, until the advent of TV and the advent of TV and pictures, right? And photography. And like Samoan women are normally just thick, you know, they're just thick, beautiful women, right? But when they started looking at TV, when they finally got like Western TV over in Samoa, oh, then they were like, I think I need to go on a diet. I think I need to make my skin lighter.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So it's about, I'm like,
mm.
it was
The
literally like my brain was
programming.
putting together. It's the programming of
It's the
media.
programming.
Mhm.
And
It is.
Western media is literally programming us to believe that the lighter you are, the
The
more
better,
beautiful you
the
are.
more beautiful you are. Yeah,
Bullshit.
because it's over in Asia, in
Mhm. And
India.
think
Yeah.
about
They
just,
put.
in your imagination, think about their artwork, right? Most of the
Mhm.
faces are what color? They're
There you
this
go.
pale. They look like ghosts,
Beige.
don't they?
The beige
Yeah.
They
blue. I'm
look, hey, the
sorry.
whiter the better, right? So you also got to the point of the whitening creams, right? Even
Yes.
though they're in Africa, those milk baths that the Greeks and the Romans used to take, that was to
Mm.
keep them pure white.
Yes, sir.
The Asians, they use like
Lightning
turmeric and rice
streaks. Yeah.
powder. Yeah, white.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So colorism kind of pretty much predated racism, right? But
yeah.
those ideas funneled into racism. Racism becomes institutionalized, and so your colorism becomes the soft technology. It's soft technology, and you can just develop the hard technology. So now we're getting to an age where you can become transracial now, right? Because that's the thing. Think now. We've been looking. I know you guys have been looking at TikTok, and you've been looking at how
What?
The Japanese, they can the things that they can do with hair now. They
Oh,
can make black
yeah.
hair, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
transhumanism, that's a bit, but that's gonna be another topic, right? But just laying the brickwork, okay? You have the soft technology. It's very subtle, but it's also in your face. And then you have these kids that are being programmed with these ideals, and they're perpetuating them in their own way, and they're testing them out. They're testing them out. Now,
Oh,
yeah,
in
you
real
can have some
time.
revolutionary. Yeah, because I mean, all of the ideas, even stereotypes, they have to be tested out. They don't always work, but the reason why we keep them going is because at some point they work.
Mm.
Like, for example,
Mm.
again, Drake. Okay, Drake. We've been picking on this man since Degrassi. Okay, and the things that our community has been saying. Okay, the things we have been saying. But then you look at some of his behaviors and you see how it fits, and you're like, see, light skin behavior, right? And things like that become real to you, and we laugh about it,
Oh my
right?
God.
We have fun with it, but the essence here is it's an idea. These are ideas of colorism, and we
Yeah.
use them just like that. It be just like that
Yeah.
in conversation. Then it seeps
Yeah.
into our dating preferences and our
Yeah.
marital preferences. It
Yeah.
seeps into our beauty products.
Yeah.
Who are we marketing to? Who are we marketing this product to? Let's capitalize off of their colorism. Let's capitalize off of that. Let's make money off of their suffering.
So then I'm wondering, when did it transcend being about your social status and being about race? Like when was the switch? Because you talked about how
Yeah.
we
That's
yeah,
racism. That's
yeah,
racism.
yeah,
And
like
again, now the rest of the globe, they were still holding it down. They maintained
yeah,
course. It was
yeah.
when America and its racism and its flavor of racism that took hold, and then that kind of
Jesus.
amalgamated into what it is: a different beast, a different monster, a different disease, and then it started to trickle out.
Mm,
You know, you
mm,
start to
mm.
and then you can industrialize it now.
Yeah, because then like you said, like like Koreans, they used to have like the skin lightening things that used to pop up, you know what I'm saying? But now it's transcended just how much money you make and where's your status like in your place in the world. It's now about whatever it is that your race is about. And it just got me thinking, like the American version of racism, oh my God, as stupid and destructive as it was, like just how far it really went. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a global man. That just blew my mind.
So you have to understand that you use your color as a tool, right? And you have to figure out how to use that tool. Like it's crazy, but it's a social construct. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's one of the many interfaces that we use to interact with reality. So if you have a lighter tone, then you're probably going to recognize, okay, this lighter tone affords me some privileges, but with this group though it doesn't. With this group it doesn't. So I
Yeah,
probably
you ain't
need to
get.
stay away from that group over there because
Mhm.
the color
Yeah.
doesn't work here like it does over there. And so there's your social intelligence because hey, people are programmed. So you got to figure out, all
They
right,
really
you know,
are.
how deep is your programming? You know, I got to work with your
Man,
programming.
really are.
You got to be a lot more
Mm.
jobs.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Shit, everybody participates.
Man.
You make
Everybody
a video
participates.
about how you just only date white women. You're putting that out there.
Hmm.
You know, your preference is your preference. It doesn't need to be known by everybody.
Yeah, so if you're announcing your preference, it means you're scared of something or some
Ooh.
underlying scar.
Mm-hmm. You try
People
to make
tell you
the
who
other,
they are.
yeah, the other people feel bad because you're
Ooh.
not a part of their preference. It's
Yeah,
like,
so if they call you stupid, that means they think they're stupid. They call you fat, they call you ugly. Because happy people only hurt people hurt people.
mm,
That's what happens with colorism.
that's
If
man,
you're a
that's
happy
it.
person, you love any and every flavor. Because I know for
Mhm.
damn sure I do.
Mm. Families keep it
Wow.
alive if they have not become aware of the little comments and jokes that they make amongst. Because I used to be considered Dark Vader. I was
That's
Dark
insane.
Vader because I was the darker skin out of everybody. So yeah, families keep it alive. Yeah, if they're not in social media,
Man.
you know,
I was just shaking my head. I
it's
was just thinking
there.
about my grandma. My grandmother, God bless her soul, because she's not with us anymore. But like how
Hmm.
families perpetuate it, I loved my grandma, but my grandma was a piece of work, y'all. I'm talking like light skinned woman from the South, and everybody in town. They lived in a really small Georgia town, and like the black community, they used to call her white woman. That's what they used to call my grandmother. Because
Mm.
my grandmother was a piece of work. She was one of the original AKAs, baby. Like I'm talking like she went to Tuskegee, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me, Talladega. Graduated from Talladega. She was one of them originals. And if you were the paper bag test, did y'all ever hear about the paper bag test?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah,
I had to educate some people about the paper bag test. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because they did not know. Like, excuse me, they do that in the black community? Yeah, because we were trying to keep up with y'all asses. You know what I'm saying? And my grandmother, she was staunch. Like, I remember she did it like on the slide to my kids. Because my kids, all of my kids they're, shade or a few lighter than me. Right.
Hmm.
So she did that to the sneak. To my older son, it was like, yeah, like giving me the approval. Like, yeah, like he's going to be fine. Yeah, if you was darker than her, mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That
And
is
my
not
grandma,
okay.
she would just keep it going. Like people in the family would keep it going. You know, I mean, she was like that. She thought that Obama was just like was the wonder, but she was like Michelle. She just too dark. She too dark to be the first lady. I mean, like it was crazy, crazy. And that's where, like,
Wow.
yeah, you're right about the families keeping it going.
Yeah. Too far
Wow.
gone.
Too funny.
Man.
And that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Because
Man.
that means it's more light skinned and brown and dark skinned women for me. That's
I,
fine.
I'm not gonna say who said this, but we was at a family gathering and the lighter skinned people was in the inside of the house, and when I came in, somebody hollered out, "Now you know the field niggas supposed to be outside."
Oh, they got jokes.
They it's in the family. And I looked up and I said, "Your lighter skin is a result of rape."
Exactly. Remember that.
And they just stood there. I said, "Oh, gotcha."
All the
Mhm.
trauma. Go right ahead. Yes. We getting all the
Mhm.
trauma out tonight. Happy family reunion.
Mhm.
We gonna bring it all to the floor. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
got them.
Oh my
I
lord.
still love them. I
Look,
silenced that shit though.
what can you do about it?
I silenced it.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So preference is having a preference for lighter skinned women really detrimental if it's properly explained.
You don't have to put darker skinned women down. That's the thing. Have your preference. You don't have to put the other group down. If I have a preference for white men, I'm not going to get on here and talk about that day in and day out and say I only date white men because black men ain't shit. You don't have to explain that. You can have your preference. I like all men, tall, short, thick, skinny, light, dark. I don't have a preference. Treat me well. Shit. Treat me good,
Man.
but I ain't even there yet no more.
I mean, I live in
You know,
Washington. The
I ain't
chances,
even there though. Some
yeah.
days I wake up and tell myself, I think I'm just gonna be gay.
Team switch.
Like you know what? I don't want a husband. I want a wife.
Please don't do that.
I'll get further along.
Like, I want to experience the black wife effect. Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Can I please have one? Where do I sign up?
Okay, you better look at the statistics. You better look at the
What's
statistics.
the statistics? Break it down.
When it comes to them woman on woman relationships, y'all are some of the most fighting motherfuckers. It's in the high 90s. All right,
That's true.
and when it comes
It's
to
what?
boys, y'all in the high 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, high 90s.
Really?
Listen,
You
they'll
got
say
about
like,
a
what is
6%
it?
chance of working.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They say there was like, so my lesbian friends. Hello, greetings, my lesbian friends.
Hello.
They'll say, hey, you meet somebody in a week, like you move in, and then afterwards you're like, all right, this is like, it's done, it's over with.
It's done.
But we need somebody here from the LGBTQ community to speak on that one. So I'm just gonna
Because I
say
heard
what I
that from their
overheard.
friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like,
just
no,
I'm just
Really?
gonna say what I overheard. But I will tell you this: I'm like, I live in Washington State, and I figured that myself. I'm like, everything in between the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like up under the sun. It's like I don't know the chances of me potentially finding somebody first of all at my healthy ass age, and then in Washington State somebody who is of the same race. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know if it won't, but I'm not closing myself off to any opportunities. So I'm like, and I don't have any like preferences because what I thought that I liked, I end up not marrying. You know what I'm saying? Like my ex-husband was the complete antithesis of what my preference was.
I don't even want it no more. I don't even want it no more. I'm sorry. Please just pass me up. Don't talk to me. I stay plain Jane at work, out in these streets. I don't even want it anymore. I'm telling you, I'm done.
It's amazing,
gosh.
John, because the crazy part is I hear a lot of women say, like, why did he choose to talk to me and I look like this? Because God ain't made no mistakes. Makeup ain't for us.
Wait, bring that back.
I said God ain't make no mistakes. So the natural is always going to be the best. That's gonna always, because God ain't make no mistakes. So if you're telling me that God did something wrong, or you don't want, it ain't nothing I can do with you to begin with, sweetie.
Hold up.
Because you trying to change what God made perfect. And if you better than God, show me the way. Show me the way, please. That's all I got to say about that. I love a black woman in her natural. That's when I walk up on you.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't wear makeup for us.
I don't think you.
With other women.
No. W just dropped a hellified comment. All the preference for lighter or other women, I believe black men have never seen black women as worthy to them for love or a better life.
I mean, I think that's if
At this
people
point,
really
I
going
have given up on black love. AW, we are in the same boat. The last betrayal will be the last betrayal for me.
That's sad though. I feel like that's. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's not sad. I've been married. I've been married.
That just comes to be honest, that is a powerful statement, but that comes from a place of hurt. So as soon as you unwind that, then you'll have your answer. There's nothing that I will be able to tell somebody like that unless they ask me the question. Because I'm not saying I know it all, but I have that answer.
But that is W's belief. We're just, I
Yeah.
see,
Yeah,
I
and that's
believe, I don't believe. So we're just dealing with
Yeah.
beliefs here.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
all it
Don't
is.
Beliefs are
believe
very
it ever
powerful,
existed.
right?
Ooh,
Remember, beliefs are very powerful.
it
I
Absolutely.
mean,
is.
this is why colorism is still here. It's
That's
about what you
Exactly.
facts.
believe.
That is
It's what you
facts.
Exactly.
believe.
Thank
Even
you,
We
if it's
see.
W,
just
for
like a
sharing.
crazy idea to some degree, you entertain it because at some level you believe in it. Some level, little bit.
You, you
Play
know,
around with it.
it's
Mm.
funny. It's funny that is a belief. You know, I've come to find that if I believe that black men do not find me worthy, just like you said, I kind of believe that that's something within myself that's telling me that I don't believe that I'm worthy of love. You know, like,
Mm.
and that's my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh,
yo,
talk
come
about
on,
it, baby. Woo. Where did you
come
come
on.
from? Did you come from my TikTok page, girl? Because we talk about a lot of it.
Man, because that's facts,
Too much
man.
unaddressed trauma in the community. With that being said, shout out to all the men who were brave enough to come forward in Illinois about that juvenile detention center where they had been brutally taken advantage of for years.
Oh wow,
It was like 600 to 800 men.
wow.
We need more men coming out and talking about their trauma. We need to heal from the inside, baby. Once we can do that, we will be fucking unstoppable. Do you hear me?
But
Yeah,
that's why.
I mean,
But that's why it
men are
exists.
working on it.
Yeah, we definitely
Go ahead.
working on it.
Yeah,
I
the
know
men are
y'all
working
are.
on it.
I know y'all are.
Well, no, but I mean, there's more working on it than. But see, that's the thing about men. We don't like to broadcast our shit either.
Okay, got
We
you.
don't like to
Okay,
talk. I mean, that's on a lot of things. We don't like to talk. Like we'll talk
okay,
when it's the same space, you know. But
got you.
also, just in general, like we don't like telegraphing our moves. Like you'll just find out. Like, hey, you want to know the play? Well, let's do a rewind, but not before the play happens. We don't want to, like, yeah, it's good to show it sometimes. Like, hey, join our group. Share this. All right, hey, we're doing this group on Tuesday. It's virtual. I see a lot of that going on. A lot of
That's
healing, a
what's
lot
up.
of talking.
That's what's up.
But it's also there's been research behind this too. It's things like, all right, hey, what's the language? Because you can't really heal until you understand the language of healing too. There's certain things you can't say. There's certain ideas you got to root out, and that's all tied into your language, your thought process. So it's happening. It's happening quietly.
I gotta piggyback off of that because honestly, I wouldn't think the way I think or be the man that I am if I didn't have men like John seeing themselves in me. People like Dion seeing themselves in me to say, "Hey, brother, listen, hold on, hey, you seem like a good dude. I'm gonna show you this." They put a jewel down, and if I pick it up and put it in my bag, they still teach me more. I don't see that. I don't see that when it comes to our women. I see in our women, the older women are competing with those younger women, so they don't pass that knowledge too much. Most women most women that's knowledgeable get their knowledge from men. That's just how it. That's just what I've seen anecdotally.
Wow.
Okay, because I don't have any younger people in my tribe. I don't.
Not yet.
So not okay.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's gonna happen with you though. I can see it. It's gonna happen with you.
Absolutely.
Not a whole lot. It's just gonna be like
Right.
you got like 3, 2, something. It's for you. It's gonna be like that. Yeah.
But that's what I've seen personally or anecdotally in my experience. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, it's a hard subject.
No, that just put tears. I can't even say it. I am the statistic. Being unmarried, childless, unable to birth children, dark skin, never been asked to be married. It feels like a curse sometimes.
Wow.
God, it's such a way that you look at the world sometimes. But just like John said, those beliefs are so strong. But whenever you choose to believe in something different, you'll be surprised at how your world changes.
Okay.
But you have to commit to it, though. That's the thing. You have to commit to the idea. Whatever it is, you have to commit to it. You can't just say it one time and think, is, you know, the universe is sort of like a copy machine. So, all right, are you sure? Because I'm about to send this. No, 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 no. I didn't mean it. I was just, you know, that was just impulse. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
You better affirm it again and affirm it again. Like, you have to commit to the idea. So it can't be shallow. You can't just, like, you gotta commit.
If I just wanted to hold space for W's comment, but I mean, just because of the fact that I think that I have been married and I do have kids, right? And like I said before, I am a brown skinned chick, so I feel like I kind of like split down the middle, right? But I definitely resonate with what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? And you know, feeling like they're a statistic, like they're, you know what I'm saying, like from the evidence. Remember I was speaking before, like sometimes, you know, like with my brain, if I don't see the evidence of things, I can't, it's hard to look away from the mirror to try to look at something that's different, because it's like, but this is the evidence, and I believe that the evidentials that I haven't seen anything that's different to pull me away from the evidential to make me think something different. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, you'll get somebody, you'll also get some light-skinned women. Let's just say from light-skinned women who will be like, oh, well, I've never been married, and I've never, you know, like nobody has, you know, like they'll look at it because I am black. Like, not even because that they are lighter skinned, but because they are black, they feel like those are the things that are coming to them because they don't see any evidence of anything different, right? So I just wanted to be able to hold space for that. Okay, all right, and if you don't, I mean, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and bring that up. And I'm perfectly fine with, you know, that's fine. We can disagree. And I mean, if you have a different, you know, if there's something that's different that pops up for you, I mean, hey, let us know. You know, I mean, this is all a show about learning. Go ahead, Renee. You look, you had the.
I do, because I understand how I feel right now, and I've been here before.
Okay.
Me and John talked about this years ago. You feel this way now. Just like Sherman said, the way that you're talking is coming from a place of hurt. And everyone on this podcast knows that I am still healing from that last situation that I was in. And it's going to take some time. So right now, I've cut myself off from even thinking about being involved with anybody else until I can get over this hump. And then maybe things will be different. Every situation is different. So for you, Miss W, I'll just put out good vibes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll put out good vibes. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've been so me and Renee, me and God Level.
Everybody didn't call me Renee today. Just call me Renee, damn it. It's Renee. Renee. Just, it don't matter. I'm good.
That's the reason why. So go ahead.
Right, just 1 second. Just mine will be small.
Okay.
Going back to Miss W, what we're doing here is healing in front of everybody. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is therapy. So we may not be 100% correct. We may not be 100% right. We're not. But it's always great to talk through things, because I can learn from you and seeing what you're saying. But if I already understand that it's coming from hurt, it'll probably be nothing that I can do for you. What we're doing is what we're always aiming to do is help. What we're always aiming to do is heal. And what we're always aiming to do is learn. So we can agree to disagree sometimes, but we can always come to a common ground. That's all I ask.
Yes.
Thank you, Sherman. I was getting ready to say, addressing the whole entire, like, we are healing in real time. So
we are.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. For the last, I have been healing from situations as well. And y'all all know I've been on some management for the last, years and change, right?
Yeah.
So I was literally just thinking about sometimes, like, this is just a space, and y'all also know I'm a little bit of an astrology nerd, and this is just the time and the space for, I'm realizing in my life, for energies to change, right? Yeah. So because of the fact that I realize that it's time for energies to change, I have been gathering evidence. I started today on a fact-seeking mission to gather the evidence that men are not what I am accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? Men are not the besides the fact that I have the evidence from these men who are in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Because we've had conversations like in all of those types of things. I understand that these guys are not the exception. You know what I'm saying? And in most cases, they're actually more of the rule than I considered. And okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, bring that up. But I was saying
okay.
All right.
That's what's up.
So
no, I was disagreeing with the guy that said women get their information about men from older women.
No, she heard that wrong. I get it. Women get their most enlightened women that I've known in my life get their information from older men, not older women. Older women see other women as competition. So the same 40-year-old is competing with the 20-year-old for that 30-year-old man. I've seen that a lot. Because just like crazy. I got that understanding from talking about, like, man, what is makeup? Because makeup ain't for us. It's used to compete with other women to say I'm prettier or I'm better than she is. That's what I meant.
It's funny because sometimes when you get a little bit older, you kind of realize I don't need to wear makeup. Like right now, I just have on my lipstick. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. The older that I get, the more I'm just like, I'm not even trying to wear this shit because it's just like it's hot. It's in the running every place. I don't want to do that if I'm you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going somewhere like this special. But I hear what you're saying, and I never really, man. I guess that older women who are unenlightened are competing with younger women. But you know,
they really are.
Yeah, and he's not generalizing, by the way. You know, he's just saying the women that he knows, like most of the women that he knows. Because
we ain't over here competing with no young.
And they don't speak like Miss Ivy, Miss Renee. They don't speak like that. Y'all would be the exception to the rule. You see what I'm saying? You try to look at things from a better perspective, and y'all try to look at things from, hey, let me put myself in their shoes. I see healing. I see. Of course, I see pain too, but at the same time, I see progression in how you two speak, as opposed to the stuff that I was, encountering and stuff like that. I came up in the ghetto, so of course I'm seeing nothing but just it wasn't a good energy being put out. It wasn't nothing spewed with venom. Most of the time when I heard them talking about men or women, so that's what I meant.
Hey, that's a bar right there. Depending on the area you come from,
Post that back up. Put that back up.
Some women get their information about men from watching broken couples in the home.
Man,
and that's the part. It's the download.
Examples. Social learning.
Yeah. Also, the idea of colorism. That's where it comes from. It comes from, you know what I'm saying? Like,
learning.
It comes from social learning. It comes from that download. It comes from watching broken people raise broken people. You know, without an understanding. Without an understanding that this kid who's watching you do broken shit has their own autonomy. Because what did we do back in the day? Oh my gosh, man, this really comes from slavery. Back in the day, it's like we used to teach our kids, you have to listen to exactly what I say or else you're going to be dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you grow up living for survival, and it's like all of that brokenness continues to perpetuate that brokenness. That's a whole entire different show. So it
really is, because I'm sitting up here trying to figure out how I can break this off and spin it. Because it's getting really good. Also, having learned men from your own with unavailable physically and emotionally fathers in the home. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that most Black people that I've encountered in my life have the same story about what not to do, but they have never seen an example of what to do. It's hard to see what love is when you do not know what it is, but you know chaos, you know distress, you know hurt, you know pain. Oh, it's very valid.
Confusion.
You can see it just like that. It's almost like a second sense. You know chaos and pain like the back of your hand, but you do not know what love is. And then you go out in the world and you try to find somebody. And what do you do? 9 times out of 10, you're going to only destroy them, or they're going to destroy you. You have what love is.
Come on.
You have to, because without it, the only thing that you can produce is destruction. That's all you have to offer. No matter how
Man.
sweet you put it, that's the only thing that you can offer.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta figure that out.
And you got to heal from it. And you're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to take some missteps and hit some bumps and all that kind of good stuff along the way. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to just point to this question because we started off talking about colorism, and then we kind of,
it always morphs. We always
goes
morph.
into a rabbit hole and pops up with a dolphin.
We got a
you know
minute.
what I'm saying?
We are at 1 hour and 14 minutes.
I just wanted to answer this question. Can we cancel it?
Can we pick back up part 2? This sounds like a part 2.
We can, but we won't. We can, but we won't.
We want to move on to something else. Go ahead and answer the question.
No, go ahead. Because I'm like, can we? It said, I'm thinking you're asking, can we cancel it, or should? I'm thinking like, should we or can we? You know, because we should cancel it. We should cancel it, but who is really going to take the time to try to do that? It's an individual. I think that's an individual thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's working on you and your own trauma.
Yeah.
And once you start working on you and your own trauma, it's like you got to start to change your mind about. I don't know. Let me speak about myself. When I started working on my trauma, I'm addressing I ask questions about everything. You know what I'm saying? About all of my so-called preferences, about my so-called beliefs, about all the things that I thought that was in this original download that I don't need anymore. Taking shit out of my fridge to put fresh food in. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm questioning everything. So I think it's a personal thing.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you want to be, especially if you're black, and you're down for the cause, especially if you're black and you're down for the cause, hey, why wouldn't you check that? Why wouldn't you check that at the door? You're about to engage with your peoples, and why wouldn't you? You don't want to give them royal treatment, but you down for the cause, but you don't want to check that part. That's a very important part. Like, you can't be social with black folks, but you're kind of just like, yeah, I'm gonna deal with these black folks, but not these black folks because these black folks are darker, and like that's the best you could do. That's the best you could do for the resistance. Is at this color right here, this is where I stop. I'm black, but up to this part right here, I gotta stop. I'm not at peak blackness over here.
I'm dealing with paper bag niggas. I'm dealing with paper bag niggas.
That's crazy.
So I mean, I know that there's some black folks out there that's like, yeah, I'm a colorist, yeah, as long as I'm not a racist. But it's like, damn,
yeah.
But you kind of, you said that out loud, so you forget that there's a us versus them mentality going on here. I mean, are you for the culture or not? To say that right there to get your cap bad, like vanished from the black community. I mean, I feel like we need to do that sometimes, just to check some people. Like, hey, man, but I mean,
like, give me your card back.
But it's a dream. It's an ideal, right? It's an ideal. So I'm just saying, if you just want to be a good or just a better human being, check your thoughts of discrimination. Check your thoughts on like, why do I like him? Just because the eyes are kind of like grayish, but he's like high yellow, and that's it. That's it. That's where you stop. Damn. I mean, that's objectification.
And then if you want to, because that's definitely a step. But then take another step and check who you are in the world. Check who you are. Just figure that out. Just keep taking steps forward, because the more steps that you take forward, the lighter your words will be, and the more your words will hit. It's not always about you.
It's not always. Ooh, that's hitting the ego, Sharon. What you doing?
If we can get everybody. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just giving out the gems that I've been given. That's all.
It's about the ego. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
I was gonna say, I mean, we should cancel it, but we all have to agree. We all have to agree that, hey, this shit's fucked up. We all gotta agree, and it can't be. Again, it's a commitment. It can't be like, because we have a habit of doing that. Yeah, we agree, And then next Sunday, like, man, there's some light skin shit right here, boy. I tell you, oh yeah, my bad. We were supposed to do the thing. My bad. I'm gonna get it right, y'all. I'm gonna get it right, and then we play too much, and then it never happens.
Yeah.
That's not what we doing. That's not what we doing.
And just real quick for me to find out, because I honestly needed a little manuscript. I needed a blueprint. The book I read, 85-10-5, that's kind of what showed me who I was in the world. And I definitely wanted to be a 5%, not a 10 or not an 85.
Ooh.
I never wanted to be either one of those. I wanted to honestly be some type of core teacher, somebody that can give something.
Yeah.
Because if I'm giving something and I'm serving somebody, I'm doing something right.
You're here.
That's how I feel about it.
You're here.
Absolutely. And I'm
You're
grateful
right
to be
here.
here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make sure that I'm here every goddamn Tuesday. Every chance I get. Chance I get.
You know what? I'm gonna buy that and send it to John. A little DJ mix. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. We are coming up on an hour and 20 minutes. This is really towards the end has become a great freaking show. I want to thank W for coming on with all of your comments.
Absolutely.
He's sending you positive energy. Marcus, I see that you stepped into the building. Thank you so much. I want to thank my panel. I want to thank John, Ivy, Sherman with your accolades.
Yo,
I do
accolades.
what I
Yeah. Yes. You know, I want to thank everyone who jumped in on tonight's live. This has been things that people don't want to talk about, and we're going to continue. Well, next month is March. Oh,
come back, W.
Okay.
Come back. Come back.
The truth about this live.
We just got to get everybody to believe it.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Everybody don't believe it. Everybody doesn't believe it.
And that's why we here every Tuesday, W. That's why we here every Tuesday to talk to
Same
speak on
thing,
it.
passing down from generation to generation. That's why they say, oh yeah, cancer runs in the family. No, your eating habits run in the family.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Cancer, diabetes, all of that stuff is not in your DNA.
All right. Now I know, for Black History Month, Ivy talked about we should talk about the things that are hindering us. Going forward in March, we should talk about things that we can improve on.
I like that.
Okay.
How do y'all feel about that?
I love it.
Okay, let's talk about what can we do with this turn in American history. Y'all don't have, man. Okay, nope. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm shutting up. I'm going on mute.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we're going to get into our think tanks and figure out what kind of topics we're going to have for the month of March. Thank you to everyone who jumped in on tonight's live, and we will see you all back here Tuesday. John, you got me?